Did you know anxiety disorders are the #1 mental health issue in North America? It's estimated 1/3 of North America adult population experiences anxiety unwellness issues. And it's robbing us of our future. Let's fix it.
Life is not about you living in the past. It's not about you living in fear. It's about your dreams. It's about what you believe. Life is about you. Choosing your future.
Lessons for the future begin here.
Welcome to the Choosing Your Future podcast. This is episode 26, and we are dealing with worry, anxiety, and stress. It affects your future. And by the way, before we get started, check out the website, choosingyourfuture.org. There's a lot of great information there, and I'm going to be posting some of the statistics today. We're going to talk a lot about statistics today and what's going on, and I'm going to have this posted on the blog section of the website at choosingyourfuture.org, and it's staggering. It really is. First of all, again, let's define the difference between worry, anxiety, and stress. Anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or uneasiness. In other words, it's uncertainty. It's a feeling of uncertainty. Worry, on the other hand, is giving way to anxiety, the uncertainty, the unseeable. And what you're doing is you're letting your mind dwell on the difficulty of troubles that might or might not happen. So you're creating a world, basically, that really doesn't exist. You really don't have no proof that the uncertainty you're facing is going to be that bad. So what we have here in root is fear, okay? That's part of the issue. When we talk about anxieties, we're dealing with fear issues, and it's affecting us mentally and emotionally. It's affecting us even physically, and we're going to get into a lot of this today. But stress, on the other hand, is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Now, you may not be in an actual stressful situation, but if you're worrying about something, it is creating stress. This imaginary world, if you will, of worry about something that you don't even know if it's going to happen or not, is creating this world, and it's causing stress. And it's actually affecting your body. The uncertainties is creating a worry the anxiety of uncertainty is creating a world of imagination that says, I'm not going to make it. It's going to be horrible. And then now your body starts reacting to this. You start stressing out over it, and it starts affecting you physically. There's a lot of people that are stressed and don't even know it. As a matter of fact, you're going to find out here in a little bit, there's a lot of people who deal with anxiety and don't even understand it. And I'm kind of a believer that most of this is fear-based. We have a fear. I left off the last week episode saying, there's a lot of people that are worried to do things. They have a fear. They have a worry that they won't be a success. They won't be. There's things on the inside of them that they're meant to do. There's things on the inside of them that they're called to do, but yet they have a fear. They have a worry that it won't work out, and they think of everything that can go wrong. And see, that's what worry does, and that's what anxiety does. It robs us of life. It robs us of future. It robs us of hope and dreams. There's a lot of people who just stay inside, don't even go out of their house because they have an anxiety issue. They have a worry. They're afraid. They don't make new friends. They don't even try things. And that's not living. It's torture. It's torture. And it can affect us in so many ways. I mentioned in the last episode, I've talked to several gastroenterologist doctors that will tell you that many of our problems with our stomachs and our intestines, our colon, as such, digestive system, is a result from anxiety, worry, and stress. So I want to again read this scripture, Matthew 6:25. We probably won't read all of it way through, but I do want to read this little section here. Therefore, I tell you, stop being worried or anxious, perpetually uneasy, distracted. And see, that's what worry does. And this is what anxiety does. It has a tendency to distract us about your life. In other words, don't get distracted about your future because of worries and fears. And let me tell you something. It's hard. I'm going to be brutally honest. It's hard sometimes to overcome fears and worries and anxieties. But when you push yourself, okay, you find yourself actually overcoming these obstacles one by one. And you have to get your mind right. You have to think on those things. Get your mind right. You know, another thing about worry and fear, as I mentioned before, it robs us of our future. But what it really does by doing this, it distracts us. Okay, we focus on what might not happen versus what is possible to happen in a good way. We focus more on the negative than the positive. I want to read to you some facts today that you might find really amazing because it's quite staggering, actually. And this will be on the website. And I'm just going to go down the list. Anxiety disorders affect 18.1% of adults in the United States, approximately 40 million adults between the ages of 18 to 54. That's interesting, 18 to 54. You know what? I've talked to several seasoned, as I like to call them, adults. These are people that are definitely over 54. And, you know, I've asked them, I said, you know, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do different? And every one of them said, I wouldn't worry. It all works out. If you're becoming a father for the first, I remember the first time we found out we were going to have a child. Man, you talking stress. How am I going to pay for this? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? Am I going to make enough money? Blah, 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 blah. You know what? He's 20 years old today. He's healthy. Great guy. He's not a kid anymore. Great guy. Does great things. It all works out. When you first get married, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to do this? It all works out. And that's what they're saying. But listen to this. The National Institute of Mental Health current estimates put this number much higher, though. Approximately 30% as many people don't seek help, though. So they're saying the number is much higher than 40 million Americans, and they don't seek some kind of help. And or misdiagnosed and don't know that they have issues with anxiety. According to the economic burden of anxiety disorders, a study commissioned by the ADAA and based on data gathered by the association and published in the Journal of Clinical Psychiatry, anxiety disorders cost the U.S. more than $42 billion a year, almost one-third of the $148 billion total mental health bill for the U.S. More than $22.84 billion of those costs are associated with repeated use of health care services, as those with anxiety disorder seek relief for symptoms that mimic physical illness. Now think about that. So we have a huge chunk of America that have anxiety disorders, and it's eating up the healthcare budgets. But the problem is some of these anxieties and worries and fears and these issues are mimicking physical issues. In other words, there aren't really physical problems going on. It's the stress and the anxiety that's triggering these problems in our physical body. And I told you in the last episode, you know, you can be stressed and not know it. You can have, you don't have to be flipping out all over the place, yelling and screaming. I mean, that's definitely a sure sign you might be stressed. But You don't have to be doing that. You can be quiet and calm and still be stressed, but it's showing up, maybe not with loudness and disruptive behavior, but it can be showing up physically, okay? And that's pretty much what this is saying. People with an anxiety disorder are 3 to 5 times more likely to go to the doctor and 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric disorders than non-sufferers, okay? Anxiety has become the #1 mental health issue in North America. It's estimated that 1/3 of North American adult population experience anxiety unwellness issues. A recent survey showed 41% of employees from a range of industries reported high levels of anxiety in the workplace. So think about this. 41% of America that is working are experiencing some kind of anxiety in the workplace. That means there's a lot of people not enjoying their job. That's why it's a strain. The people don't look forward to Monday. They look forward to Friday. Why? Because most of them are going to be off on Friday and off for the weekend. I've told my son this, and he lives by this. If you do what you enjoy, you'll never work another day in your life. You've heard that same thing. And people are stressed because they're living in anxiety and uncertainty about maybe their job. You know, there may never be anything wrong with the economy, but you can still be uncertain about your job because maybe you're insecure about your job. Maybe you're insecure with some of the people you work with. There might be some anxiety with those people. Anxiety can come in many forms and fashions. The worries can. But remember, many times these worries are worlds we create. There's numerous people who think that their coworkers or certain people don't love them or like them, but they've developed that worry in their own head. When in reality, hey, man, they think you're great. You know, sometimes worry is more of a self-image issue than it is anything else due to fears. And what you're doing is you're letting it, as we read in the scripture, you're letting it distract you from what's possible. You're robbing yourselves of some serious relationships that could be very enjoyable. Let's look at a couple of more statistics real quick. Another report found that more than half of college students sought help for their anxiety issues. Research has found that anxiety can impede learning, which often leads to lower academic achievement and performances. You know, I know a lot of college students who have been stressed about their education. And it's not really necessarily what they're going to do when they get out. It's they will stress over a test. I've known several people, they'd stress over and said, look, you're smart. You've got this. You can do it. I don't know. Some of them may want to quit. But here's the thing. When they pass the test, guess what? A's, B's. You see, worry sets you up for failure. When we are uncertain about things in life, we have 2 choices, fight or flight. We can either believe and trust God, or we can run away with fear. Go hide in a corner somewhere. We can go someplace and just say, I can't do it anymore. I quit. I give up. But here's the thing you need to understand. We need you in this universe. Don't rob us of your greatness, because we are certain you're more than able to do exceeding above what you're called to do, because God put that in you to do it.
Thank you for listening to the Choosing Your Future podcast. For more information, please visit choosingyourfuture.org. That's choosingyourfuture.org.